Hi, my name's Daisy, and I really wanted to do StrengthsFinder 2.0. So when the opportunity to take it in my TED class came about, I was just really excited. And basically, it's a series of questions that you answer, and it turns out your five top strengths with a personal packet of descriptions, ways to apply your strengths, and how others have used their strengths to accomplish their goals. And before I took the test, I told myself that I had to be honest and not pick the answer of who I wanted to be. Instead, I had to pick what I know I do or how I feel, even if I don't always like how I do things. And my five top strengths were relator, individualization, adaptability, learner, and empathy. And after reading through these descriptions, I now feel a lot more comfortable with who I am because I have words and ideas that describe me, whereas beforehand, I guess I couldn't really affirm or declare my strengths. But now I'm more confident because I more or less understand what I'm good at. And after looking through the strengths, I noticed that there was a theme. And it was something I was always aware of before, but now I'm a lot more certain of it. And it's that I'm pretty good at understanding people's quirks, strengths, motivations, and desires. And yeah, so my top strength was relator. And it says that I honor everyone's uniqueness and preferences, and I try to get a read on people, which helps me appreciate and understand them. Um, and it also said I have the ability to instruct, train, or offer suggestions to people who look to you for assistance. But I really focus on the last part because um, I always try to make sure that I don't force my own advice or opinions on others because they just might not want to hear it, which is totally fine. I know that when people try to force things on me, it's pretty annoying, and I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. And with how I apply this strength in my life, the personal packet said that I had to be honest with my friends, which is definitely not always the easiest thing. Sometimes you have to tell someone something that could potentially hurt them, um, but sometimes it's necessary if you want them to succeed and be fulfilled. It also said that I tend to hold back the most engaging aspects of my personality when I first meet people, which is 100% true. Sometimes I feel like there's something wrong with me because I often don't instantly connect with others. But now I know that I have to proactively put myself out there, and hopefully people will see that I'm a genuine person. I also realized that with this strength and a lot of my other ones, I'm really good at applying it to other people, but not so much when it comes to applying them to myself. And I feel that I know myself pretty well, and as I get older, I get more confident with who I am, but I don't always take a step back and honor my own uniqueness or preferences. So now I know that it's something I need to work on to help build my strengths. My second strength is individualization, and it says that I really like to aid my teammates. And I play three sports, and I love being on a team. So I try to appreciate my teammates' individual skills and talents. Um, I try to figure out what every person on my team does best. So I tell them that they're really good at passing or throwing or shooting because I think that the affirmation that someone has an individual skill is really important to people and it'll help them gain confidence and succeed. I also think that my friends consider me as a person they can trust and vent to. And I often find myself giving advice to people, and I think that ties in with my relator strength because I can see both sides of a story. And that helps me figure out a solution to a problem. And with this strength, I often study the linkages between final outcomes and the factors leading up to them. And before I read the whole packet, I thought that was a bad thing because I thought I was overthinking certain situations. But now I know that I'm just trying to understand how all the pieces came together to create an outcome. But I also have to be careful that I don't consume too much time thinking about the outcomes because that would just be wasteful. My next strength is adaptability. And I found it really comforting to know that this is one of my strengths because I recently had a discussion with someone where I had to explain to them that I'm not the type of person to get something done 10 days in advance. It's okay to be that way too and not always plan for the future, but instead just live in the moment. I tend to go with the flow, um, and life is full of surprises. Some are awesome and some not so awesome. But instead, I try to take it all in stride and focus and not focus too far in the future. It also said that I'm a very flexible person, but I have to make sure that people don't take advantage of that. And sometimes I allow people to do so just because, I'm always game for anything. And that attitude allows me to put myself in fun and exciting situations. But sometimes I can also find myself in a place where I would rather be doing something else. Like sometimes I feel uncomfortable in roles that call for a lot of structure and planning, and now I know that's not a bad thing, it's just who I am. And I'm not the person who buys Christmas presents in June like my grandma does. That's just not me. Uh, and it might take me a little longer to get something done, but it always does get done, and it's always done before the deadline. So I think my challenge will be explaining to others that it's not that I'm disorganized or I don't care enough. That's just how I am. And my fourth strength is learner. It said that I am motivated to continually acquire knowledge and skills, which I think is why I love my school so much and I take courses that challenge me academically. And even if I struggle in the process, I love to do something that challenges me. However, it does say that I need to feel enthused by my work and studies, which is so true, because I have to I have to be challenged by something that I care about. Otherwise, it's really hard for me to be successful. And my final strength is empathy, and I knew this would be a strength of mine because I find myself feeling the emotions that others are feeling. For example, sometimes I walk into a room of people that feel really mopey and down, and I often start to feel that way. Or I walk into a room and people are super excited about something, and then it becomes really easy for me to be excited too. And obviously, I don't always do that. I have emotions of my own, but I often do have a connection with others' emotions. And it says that I encourage people to express their innermost thoughts and feelings, and I refrain from judging. And I really do try not to judge because I know what that feels like, and it's not fun. It's not a good feeling. And I never want to hold someone. I never want someone to hold something back from me because they think it'll change my whole perspective of them. And it is challenging to have people understand that one thing that they do does not erase all of the great things that they did beforehand. That's not going to change somebody for good. It also said that I am a listener, and I am way more of a listener than a talker. And it's really hard for me to express my deepest feelings or emotions to someone, which I find kind of odd because I really try to understand people's emotions and I want them to open up to me, but it's just really hard for me to say what I'm feeling sometimes. So that is just another thing where I'm good at applying it towards others, but just not so much with myself. And after doing this test, I know that my strengths, I know what they are, and I have better words to describe myself. I also know that what I need to work on, though. But I think that the importance of this test was finding the things that I'm good at and building those up, and I'm just really excited to see where my strengths will take me. Thanks.